Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here, and welcome to Jambareeqi Request, the show where you decide what I review. For this episode, you chose Shark Tale, as nominated by Vicky Labour. Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing's gonna be alright. Bloody well isn't it, Shark Tale! Shark Tale is an animated comedy from Dreamworks, set in an ocean where sharks are like the mafia. The story follows a whale-tongue scrubber called Oscar, who owes money to a pufferfish called Sykes. Oscar's best friend Angie gives Oscar an expensive pearl inherited from her grandmother. Instead of selling the pearl to pay back Sykes, Oscar ambitiously uses the pearl to bet on a seahorse race and ends up losing. So Oscar is tied up and left with the sharks by Sykes' henchmen. Meanwhile, the shark godfather Don Lino is disappointed in his vegetarian son Lenny. He orders Lenny's brother to teach Lenny the ways of the shark, only to come across a tied up Oscar. After Lenny's brother sees that Lenny is trying to help Oscar escape rather than eat him, he tries to gobble up Oscar himself and ends up being hit by an anchor. Sykes' henchmen return to the scene to mistake Oscar as a shark killer. Oscar takes advantage of the misunderstanding and becomes a super famous shark slayer. When Lenny decides to never go home again, he turns to Oscar for help and they make a deal. Oscar agrees to pretend to slay Lenny in front of the sharks to convince them that Oscar is dangerous and has killed Lenny, who disguises himself as a dolphin to keep a low profile. Will all this fame go to Oscar's head, and will Lenny be able to keep his charade up? When I first saw this movie as a teenager, I thought it was very funny and entertaining. On second viewing as an adult though, I have no idea what teenage Jambareeqi saw in this movie. Seriously, no idea at all. Where do I begin? The biggest problem with this movie is its main character. Oscar is a terrible and awful protagonist. The writers were clearly trying to make him this charming scoundrel like Aladdin or Bender, but they failed miserably.
Sykes! My brother from another mother. What the daisy, baby? Show me that. So, what's going down? Hey, baby, this is all gravy today. Now, snap your fin right on it. Snap it.
Oscar.
You're not snapping it.
Oscar.
Hey, don't sweat it, Sykes. A lot of white fish can't do it, man.
Oscar, would you just sit down, okay?
Thank you.
Look, I've been going over my markers. You're into me for $5 grand. 5 G's, okay?
5 G's, man. You tripping 5
Oh, yeah?
G's.
See if this refreshes your memory.
What? That's crazy. Look at that. You wrote everything down so you wouldn't forget. Wow, this is a perfect example of why you're in management and I'm not. You go, boy.
Oscar is loud, obnoxious, shallow, never shuts up, and does some pretty damn terrible things. Like use Angie's pearl as betting money. Yeah, he owes her back, but it's the principles. He shouldn't have done it in the first place. I never felt sorry for Oscar's "I'm a nobody, I want to be somebody" crap, because he never made me sympathize for him. He spends the whole movie relentlessly yapping on and on and on as he digs deeper and deeper holes, putting his friends in danger in the process. He's an asshole. I have no idea what Angie sees in him and fail to believe that she's managed to fall in love with him. I actually empathized more with the villain than Oscar. At least Don Lino's grief-free son seems believable and genuine. We're not watching a down-on-his-luck everyman become corrupted by fame. No, we're watching a douchebag become a famous douchebag. That's not interesting to me. That's just bad, annoying storytelling. Wait, you cry, but Oscar redeems himself towards the end of the film. This is the second problem with the movie. It's incredibly formulaic and predictable. It follows the rags to riches story beat for beat, to the point where we know exactly what's going to happen. Oscar's change of heart moment is very rushed. It doesn't seem natural or earned. He only sees the error of his ways because the plot formula calls for it. Oh, it's the semi-finale. I should start my character development now. Talk about forced. Sheesh. There's not an ounce of convincing sincerity in this change of perception to me. Surely you think I like the look of this movie, you might be thinking. No, I don't. For example, the character designs. I can see that the makers based the designs on the celebrities that voiced them, and while this works for some characters, Oscar, Lola and Angie look bloody terrifying. It's like someone just lazily slapped real human faces on fish's bodies. It looks wrong. These three don't look appealing or cute. They look like those freaky things from that Seamen game. You know, the game that's narrated by Leonard Nimoy? kill them with fire, and serve them as sushi. The animation is a whole other problem. Sometimes there's a little spark, but most of the time, the carrot animation looks so held back and restrained. Something feels missing. It's like the animator's only direction was, just make the fishes move, I don't care. Dreamworks can do so much better than this. The backgrounds are also uninspired. There's something crude and boring about these backdrops. They didn't create any kind of atmosphere or draw me into the film's world. In fact, I hated being in this setting. It lacks an identity or appeal. It made me feel sleepy. So, did I at least laugh at this movie? Again, no! The comedy in this film is embarrassingly sloppy and very badly executed. I only laughed once, and it was a very tiny laugh. Shark Tale seems to think that doing the running gag of, oh, these are animals, but they're doing human-y things, is all it needs to do to be funny. But this routine gets old fast, especially considering how many other animated movies have done it. A majority of the jokes are uncreative, badly timed through delayed or rushed pauses, and suffer from weak animation. These jokes were embarrassingly cringy to sit through. Not to mention, the film is so relentlessly desperate for jokes that it even tries to crack some laughs during a death scene and a funeral scene. Talk about tasteless! And this is coming from someone who's seen Where the Dead Go to Die. You know, I would be more forgiving towards this movie's problems if it wasn't so obnoxious in tone. This film is so smug, it's so full of itself. It thinks it's so funny, cool, hip, and edgy, but it's not. It's just annoying, irritating, and embarrassing. Shark Tale tries so hard to convince audiences that it's down with youth culture that it ends up looking like a silly uncle trying to impress his nephew by throwing buzzwords like groovy, digging it, and coolio. This movie feels like it was directed by a marketing team desperate to appeal to today's kids, not a team of artists with a passion. Heck, the film is laced with contrived product placements disguised as jokes, as well as random celebrity cameos as creepy human fish. Okay, let me get some calm composure and try to be a little more positive. Surely there's a few things that I do like about this movie. Yes, I do actually have a little praise for this film. While Oscar is a horrible excuse of a character, a lot of the other characters are decent. I like Angie. She's good-hearted, supportive, stands her ground, and even tries to stay nice to Lenny despite the fact that he's in on Oscar's stunt. Lenny is also kind of cute too. There's something sweet about his innocent, childlike personality. I sympathise more with his shaky relationship with his dad than Oscar's bullshit rags to riches drama. It's a shame that Lenny's plot gets second limelight. It's much more interesting than Oscar's story. Sykes' Jamaican henchmen are pretty cool and amusing too. They make me smile from time to time. Also, while Sykes does spend most of the movie pulling the busy manager on the phone shtick, filmmaker Martin Scorsese gives him an excellent voiceover, which is awesomely surprising considering the track record of bad performances by directors.
Sykes!
Hey, there he is, my brother, my player, the Shark Slayer.
Yeah, whatever, Sykes,
Oh,
listen.
and another thing, from now on, you're gonna have to start paying me protection.
Sykes, the deal is off. That shark I killed was Don Lino's son.
I know, ain't it great?
Not if he finds out.
What do you mean find out? I've got him on the phone right now.
To conclude, Shark Tale is basically babysitter fodder. It'll keep kids amused for about an hour and a half, but it's not exactly timeless or good. It's painful, boring, and very obnoxious. I really didn't like it. Anyway, what am I going to review in the next episode of Jambareeqi Request? Well, that's entirely up to you. I don't decide. It all involves a nominating and voting process in the comment section below. Before you make any requests, before you make any nominations for the film you want me to review, make sure to watch the guide in the description box below. That'll help you to understand how the system works. Okay? Cheerio, folks.